You're ready to launch your online course, membership site, or digital product, but you have no idea where to start. And today I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 things you need to know in order to be ready to launch your digital product. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beadon, aka your favorite launch strategist. I'm also the creator of Together We Launch, which is a 12-month program helping online course creators learn how to launch their course in the most profitable, joyful way possible. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 different things that you need to be focusing on in order to have your best launch yet. Think about your last launch. Think about your last launch. This video is going to help you make your next launch even better. Let's dive in. So I pride myself on launching. I love to launch. I love talking about all things launch related. And I've done a lot of launching in my life. And I've put together these 6 different areas that you should be focusing on in order to rinse and repeat your launches, launch stack, so that you can continually improve your launch results time and time again, right? So the very first one is foolproof your offer. You want to make sure you have a foolproof offer. What do I mean by that? A foolproof offer is an offer that is just such a no-brainer for your ideal client. They take one look at that sales page and they're like, wow, this offer is exactly what I need. Now guys, there's a very big difference between your offer and your actual product. Your product could stay the exact same, but the way that you position it, the way that you offer it to the world could be 2 very different things, one that results in sales and one that doesn't. So it's not necessarily about completely revamping your offer. I want to be really clear about that, because a lot of times people hear me say this and they walk away and they're like, okay, I need to have a completely different product. That's not what I'm saying. I actually think your best method of having your best launch ever is by taking a product that you've already sold, that you already have testimonials for, that's already working, and figure out what tweaks can I make to this offer that are going to make it even more irresistible. That might mean developing the offer to make it slightly different, including different bonuses. But for the most part, it means looking at the way that you're communicating that offer on your sales page, looking at your sales messaging, thinking about your ideal client, doing the market research, and making sure that your offer is primed for success. One of the easiest ways to go about doing this is by getting super clear on what is the main problem that your offer actually solves and honing in on that. Your offer might solve a variety of different things, but you need to make sure that you're messaging on it, and the person that you're speaking to, you want to make sure that their ears are perked when you talk about your offer. You want them to be like salivating at the mouth for your offer. You want them to be excited, right? So what is the one problem that your offer helps solve? And there might be many of them, but pick the one that is really the thing that's keeping your ideal clients awake at night. What is the problem that they're like, oh, I just wish I could get this solved? Y'all will know that I'm all about measuring, right? The things that you focus on grow. So we want to be able to measure, like, how foolproof is your offer? How attractive is your offer to your ideal clients? And 2 metrics that we're going to be looking at is cost per lead and your conversion rates. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you guys too much in this video, so if you want to learn more about that, we have a free quiz which goes into even more detail. The link will be somewhere in the description. But for now, just know those are 2 metrics that you can use to measure how foolproof your offer really is. Remember, creating a successful launch business model is all about rinse and repeating. Rinsing and repeating, rinse and repeating, whatever, you get the point. It's about doing the launch, analyzing the launch, and then doing it again. It's about rinsing and repeating, launch stacking again and again, so every single time your results improve. The second factor when it comes to having your best launch yet is increasing your influence, right? And I know influence is kind of like a weird word, but it really makes a massive difference on the success of your launches. So when I say influence, what do I mean? I'm talking about the relationship that you have with your organic audience. So the people who are following you online, the people who are reading your emails, the people who are watching your YouTube videos, who are listening to your podcast episode, those are your organic audience. Those are your organic followers. And you want to make sure that you are constantly investing into your influence and into increasing your influence. One of the best and cheapest ways to do this is by creating free content. right? So you want to be thinking about having a meaty piece of content, like something that's meaty, something that is differentiating you in the marketplace. So for example, that's why I created this YouTube channel. It wasn't enough for me to just be showing up on Instagram. I wanted to have a place where people could go to get to know me better, to get to know my topics, my content, etc. And that's the whole point of creating free content, is to build that relationship with people. The idea then is that you have a lead magnet, for example, our free quiz, that encourages people to go to the next phase with you, which essentially means signing up for your newsletter list, right? So your newsletter list and your social media channels are where you are building that influence. And this should be a long-term strategy. This is not something where you are just thinking about the short-term vision. This is something you want to be doing over the long term to build that sense of consistency and to build that sense of authority, to prove that you know what you're talking about, to deliver something to your audience of value so that they're like, you know what? That Alex Beadon girl, she knows what she's talking about when it comes to launches. It's about building an online community of people. And guys, I freaking love this stuff. I could literally talk about this all day long, but I'm trying to keep this super short. You want to build a community online. You want to build your influence online. You want to have an organic audience that, regardless of if you have money for paid ads yet or not, you have an audience who are full of ideal clients and who are excited for every single piece of content that you come out with and who ultimately turn into customers. So the third area when it comes to having your best launch yet is all about how prepared you are for the launch. Now, I use a term called launch hygiene, and basically what that means is you know you're about to go into a launch, and launches can be particularly, what's the word? I don't want to say taxing. They require a lot of your energy, a lot of your focus, and it's like, you don't get to launch that many times throughout the year. Like maximally, you want to be launching 3, maybe 4 times during the year, right? So you want to make sure that when you show up to launch, you're showing up as your best. It's kind of like an athlete. Like an athlete doesn't have every single opportunity to go to the Olympics. So they need to make sure that when they show up at the Olympics, they're bringing their A game. So launch hygiene, what does that include? It means making sure that your mindset is in the right place. It means making sure that the people in your life know and are planning for the launch as well. When I'm about to go into launch, like I did an entire launch video about this, but I tell Nick, like, hey, these are my dates. I'm gonna need extra support from you during this time. Making sure that you're taken care of. For me, that means weekly massages. It means making sure that I have meals prepared. Making sure that I am going to be performing at my best during the launch. So that's the third thing that you want to be thinking about, is how can you prepare yourself as best as possible for launch time. I think it should be called launch season, for launch season. The fourth launch area is making sure that you are planned and prepared, baby. You want to make sure that you have actually thought through your launch from a strategic perspective, and that things are happening when they're supposed to be happening. You know and understand the timeline of your launch. You are planting seeds with your audience far in advance of the launch. There are certain things that you can do in advance that make a massive difference in making sure that you show up prepared during your launch. So just thinking about those things in advance and making sure that you're building momentum in those areas, it's huge. The fifth area that I really want you to focus on is your lead magnet. And I'm gonna do a video next week on the top mistakes that I see when it comes to lead magnets. But there's 2 different types of lead magnets. One is like the evergreen lead magnet that's always available for people to sign up for. It delivers value. It's something that gives them a quick win. It gets them on your email list. It allows you to start building and nurturing a relationship with them. The other type of lead magnet is something that I like to call your lead magnet experience. And it is strategically designed to support you in your launch. So you want to think of, when you go to launch your offer, the whole purpose of coming up with a strategic launch is to make sure that you end up with as many sales at the end of your launch as possible. That's why we're in business. We're here to make a difference. We're here to make an impact on our clients. And in order to do that, we make sales, baby, and we're proud of it, right? The lead magnet experience is created in a very strategic way to create as many sales as possible at the end of your launch, right? So normally I do a 5-day challenge. That's the way that I do it. It builds up a lot of momentum. It grows my email list. It helps me get closer to my community, regardless of whether people buy or not. They're loving the lead magnet experience. It's really an important part of the launch process. Take a look at your own launch and ask yourself, what is your lead magnet experience like? Is there room for improvement? How could you be better? Because that is a massive key to the success of your launch. Last but not least, the sixth area that I recommend you focus on when it comes to improving your launch and having your best launch yet is finalizing your launch assets in advance. Now listen to me. I have been known to procrastinate in my life, okay? I'm the first person to admit it. I'm not a perfect business owner. I don't think I've ever had a launch where every single thing has been perfect and set up and organized beforehand. But the way that I launch, it just makes sense. It's like I launch once, I take as many of the same launch assets and I launch again. And I take as many of the same launch assets and I launch again, which makes the process easier and easier and easier, more profitable, more profitable, and more profitable. But even if this is your first launch, it still is just very true that the more prepared you are, the more launch assets that you have finalized from as early on as possible, the better. If I had to give you advice on where to start, I would say don't leave your sales page to the very last minute. You want to make sure that you have created the assets in advance that you're going to need, for example, Facebook ads or Instagram posts, really trying to think, how can I schedule out as much of this as possible to make sure that during that launch open cart phase, you can be as present with them as possible. You can really answer their questions and have fun with your content and be there, be present. I know for me and for my team, that's something that we're always working on is how do we prepare as much as possible so that in the open cart phase and in the actual lead magnet experience phase, Alex can just be as present as possible with the community. So if you're ready to find out which of these 6 areas you should be focusing on the most when it comes to your launch, then make sure that you sign up for our free quiz. The link will be somewhere around here in the description box. And that quiz is really gonna help you figure out okay, what's the exact next step that I should be focusing on, giving you the details that you need in order to have your best launch yet. If you know you're ready for 6-figure launch support, in-depth trainings, rinse and repeat launch strategies, a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, and done-for-you launch templates, then make sure that you have signed up for our Together We Launch waitlist. Applications open on July 22nd, and I really don't want you to miss out, so make sure you're on the waitlist. If you're not sure if Together We Launch is a good fit for you, because Together We Launch is a 12-month commitment, then I'm gonna highly recommend that you get on the waitlist for Ultimate Launch Bootcamp. Doors open to Ultimate Launch Bootcamp on July 5th, and it's a 5-day live bootcamp where I'm going to be walking you through so many things that are going to help you have your best launch yet. So if you want something a little bit more short term, this is a 5-day bootcamp. It's gonna be incredible. There's gonna be hundreds of other online course creators who are also taking part. So like I said, make sure to get on the waitlist. Doors open to join Ultimate Launch Bootcamp on July 5th. All right, my friends, I hope you love this video. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps to support my channel. And I'm wishing for you your best launch ever. Whenever it's gonna be, I hope that it is super profitable, super enjoyable, relaxing, and most importantly, rinse and repeatable. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you next week. P.S. Don't forget, next week we're talking all about lead magnets. So I look forward to seeing you there.